Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I got the sinuses. I don't know how I got the sinuses, but I got the sinuses. But anyway, just in case, anybody hear me snort or breathe a little bit hard or, accidentally sneeze or whatever, I try my best not to do any of that stuff. But, the sinuses happen. And I hate when you blow your nose and nothing comes out and your entire nostril is dry as hell. And it just seems like no matter how much you try, your reflexes of like you gotta snort the snot back in, and it's just like, but ain't nothing there. I don't know why, but anyway. I think I might sound groggy too. I don't know. It just depends on how the voices sounds or whatever. But anyway, just saying before you guys mention it, because I know some people do mention it, and I think some people forget that since I live in Georgia, I have year-round sinuses and allergies that just destroy me sometimes. And since I live in a mountain region, I think, you can put two and two together with that. But anyway, like I was saying, I want to bring up the Fantastic Four because I noticed how, like I said, there's been plenty of people all of a sudden bashing on the Fantastic Four, but it's kind of funny how I guess I will have to say the American audience is bashing the Fantastic Four because a lot of people are not familiar with the Fantastic Four, which is kind of funny because the Fantastic Four First Steps did everything that y'all was complaining about the Fantastic Four never doing in the previous ones. It did. Like, how a lot of people was always complaining about Sue Storm never does anything in the other movies. She's just the eye candy or whatever. And then when they do make her do something, oh my God, Sue is a Mary Sue. I can't believe she was able to do all of that. That doesn't make any sense. Well, it does, because if you read the goddamn comic books, you know about Sue Storm. You know that Susan is definitely way more powerful than she let on. That she's only limited by her mind's ability and her emotional state. So yeah, that's how that works. The Human Torch, he's nothing but eye candy and a ladies' man. That is just so terrible. He never has anything to do in the Fantastic Four movie, but when he's able to cipher and decode language, Shalabal's language in Fantastic Four while reading them are preoccupied with other things, showing that yes, even though Johnny Storm is a hothead, he is also very intelligent. Like, why are we complaining about that? You get what I'm saying? Or we have Reed Richards, who is very, very much a scientist, and sometimes he is absent-minded with his family, and sometimes it takes Sue to remind him, like, hey, get your shit together, you and me, all right? You know what I'm saying? Because his mind thinks at such a fast pace that even though Reed is human, he doesn't think about the human when he's making all of this stuff. So it's kind of funny how I'm like hearing all this stuff about Fantastic Four from a lot of people who do not read Fantastic Four comic books, or say, well, the Fantastic Four has never been my favorite, or I don't really know much about Fantastic Four, but I know. Well, time out, flag on the play. If you don't read Fantastic Four comic books, if you don't watch Fantastic Four, if all you know is the 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Four, that's your knowledge. That's your knowledge of the Fantastic Four. Then really, should you really be like criticizing the new Fantastic Four movie? Or then they got mad because it wasn't as action orientated? I'm just gonna let you know, most Fantastic Four books are not that damn action orientated like that. Not in an epic scale. especially when it comes to certain moments, because usually Reed and the Fantastic Four, just in general, usually try to defeat the villain without fighting. You get what I mean? Like, I know that's weird, but usually Reed likes to think, make a plan that works for the team more so than like smash, smash, smash. I mean, will they fight? Of course they will. But again, another thing that a lot of people need to understand is that they're family first, not a superhero team. They're family explorers first, then they're superheroes. The superheroes, once again, like in my previous video, is a bonus. It's kind of funny, once again, because after the reboot with Kate Morrow, Miles Teller, and Michael B. Jordan, which was stupid, such a dumbass movie, fan forced it. Marvel decided that they're going to make sure that they diminish the Fantastic Four's role in the universe of Marvel. You know what I mean? If you don't know, the Fantastic Four is usually the team that you go to when you want to introduce new characters or new concepts to the world. Because of the fact that they're explorers, it makes sense why a lot of characters would have their debut in Fantastic Four first, or events would start in the Fantastic Four, because usually Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four, mainly Reed, is exploring something, doing something that has something to do with science or outer space or the unknown, right? And bam, that's how this character showed up, or this is how this event happened. And then another thing a lot of people I was hearing people complaining about is that Galactus felt so weak. Why didn't he do more? Well, technically, Galactus, that's kind of Galactus' thing. He kind of sets up a machine to eat planet Earth. And I mean, most people really, he could, what he was gonna do, he could blast him. I guess he could have, but it's more so as like he knew the Fantastic Four really couldn't do anything to him. And I know how a lot of people were like, well, Susan Storm defeated him. No, she didn't. She pushed him into a portal. That's literally how you have to defeat Galactus. Galactus has never been truly like fought. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been like characters that tried to fight him or whatever, but Galactus really much is like a being that either you figure out how you can get him to not eat the planet, figure out how you can move him, if that makes sense. Come on, do something. Like, good God, the fuck you doing? Dang. Jeez. You have to figure out how you got to figure out how you're gonna move Galactus, or you get the ultimate nullifier. And I doubt that, because they didn't use Uatu the Watcher, Reed wouldn't have known that, which is kind of crazy that they didn't use Uatu the Watcher. I forgot that they didn't put him in there, but normally the ultimate nullifier is the only other thing that can kind of like stop Galactus, or maybe somebody that's close to the same being as him. But usually Galactus is never stopped. Galactus is not defeated. Usually Galactus is either convinced not to eat the planet, they figure out a way to remove him from the area, like transport him somewhere, but that's really about it. I know, as much as y'all want some epicness that's going on when it comes to Galactus, which is kind of crazy because a lot of y'all don't even read the damn comic books to even know what the fuck Galactus should and shouldn't do. Because I was seeing a lot of people talk about the third act. I'm just like, okay, but at the same time, do you even know Galactus? Like, y'all never seen Galactus, you know what I'm saying? most of y'all don't even read the comic books that feature Galactus in it. So for a lot of y'all to even talk about the MCU didn't get it, what? But then my thing is too is like you can't have it both ways. You can't complain about, oh, they never let the Fantastic Four do anything, or the 2005 and 2007 didn't do this or that with the characters, and then when they decided to do more of a character focused movie about the Fantastic Four, you complaining about, oh, it wasn't enough. I guess it wasn't enough action for you. But it's just like, as much as you want that, that's not the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four is more on the science, the explorer, the psychological, not psychological, but the philosophical needs of the universe or whatever. Yes, again, they'll fight some stuff and it'll happen, but when you're trying to tell a story about a family getting it together, it kind of happens. You know, as much as I think it's because we've seen, I guess, for some people, mediocre, but at the same time, it goes back to the audience is not really understanding certain characters. So when they do get on the big screen, you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you right now, everybody that's criticizing the Fantastic Four First Steps, especially if they're trying to say it's horrible or whatever, is just like, but you don't know anything about the Fantastic Four. I bet you, if you talk to them, they were like, what, like, outside of the Fox movies, what do you really know about the Fantastic Four? And most of them be like, oh, you know, I always thought the Fantastic Four was boring, or I never read them before. Okay, so then how would you know that Marvel got the characters wrong? You get what I'm saying? Or how would you know that the characters couldn't do or should do certain things when, once again, you don't know the characters, you don't know the concept of the Fantastic Four. So I always thought that was just one of those little things to bring up. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.